Hi everyone, it's Helen here and thank you for joining me today. So today I have a really easy project to make with you and I'll get to that in one moment. I want to talk about the collection that I'm using. It's a new one and it's from Nitwit Collections and it's called French Country, and the link will be down below for you to have a look at that. And it's a digital kit. So there's loads of elements here that I've printed off, and there's even clusters as well, so if you're not that creative and you just want things already made, this would be perfect. And this can be printed off any size as well, so the quality's there for large or small. So I've printed these out onto smooth white cardstock, just the cardstock that you would use for alcohol pens, and just you can just tell by the texture when you stroke it, it's very smooth. So that does affect the print, so I have actually ran out of my other photo paper. So I've gone for the cardstock today, and I'll show you some comparisons in the printing differences in a moment. But I want to show you this book here. So it's a Matchbook style mini album. It's really quick and easy to make, and I can make two covers from one A4 piece of paper. So I am going to make a small change for this here, just to make sure that there's some room here for the pages. So we open it up. So these are some of the papers you get in the digital kit. It's a lovely French style here. So basically I've just put my cardstock in the printer, printed it on one side, flipped it over, and I've printed on the other side, so it's double-sided. So, and then the lid or the front cover just pokes into there. So I'll be making another one of these today, and then I'll be moving on to decorating it as well. So right, let's quickly show you the difference between printing on the white cardstock and the other photo paper. So this is my other half of the album. It's going to be my new album cover for the next one we're going to make. And this is what it looks like when you print it out onto photo glossy paper. So if you can see the difference here, there's a huge difference in colour and quality as well. So I'll leave a link down below for the normal paper that I would use for this sort of project, but I probably still would print this out onto the white cardstock for the cover. So that's the other side, and also the colours are muted as well. So this is what it looks like on photo paper. This is just normal A4 photo paper, and this is what it looks like when it's printed on the white cardstock. So it's duller, but I think this actually goes quite well with the distressed sort of French style. So let's move on to making the album. Right, so grab yourself a scoreboard and pop your piece of paper in. I think I'm going to go for this way round. Grab my bone folder as well. So this measures 4 1/8 by 10 3/4 of an inch. So our first score line is going to be at 7/8 of an inch. Our second one is going to be at 6, and our third one is going to be at 6.25, so that's 6 1/4. Right, so moving on to our pages, we've got our scoreboard out, so we might as well use it. So these are the patterns. So these are going to be my A side patterns, and on the back I have some more simple patterns there just to complement. So these are going to be my B sides. So these measure 5 inches by 4, so it's 5 by 4. So with the long side across the top, I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to score again in the same place. So do that for all of them. So I'm doing this because these are our pages and I want them to flip backwards and forwards nicely. So that's just the main idea of what we're doing here. Okay, we can get rid of the scoreboard now. Okay, so grab your bone folder again. So we're going to fold it one way, and then we're going to fold it the other way, just like so. So this, we want this to move backwards and forwards really well. we're having another snowy day today. Yeah, it's just looking out, I'm just looking out the window, it started up again. Luckily school hasn't been cancelled yet, but some of my posts I've been waiting for some craft supplies to come, but I suspect they'll probably come next week now. Do some more snow again tomorrow. Right, so this is done, so now we can score these. So I score, I always say score instead of burnish. There we go, burnish these ones down. So there's only 3 score lines we need to burnish. It's hard to see where they are because it's patterned. There's the second one. There we go. Right, so we can set this aside for a moment. Oh, I think I need to cut this down actually. I know what I did. I didn't actually trim it down to 10 3/4 before I started. You probably noticed that when I was scoring that it went all the way to 11.75. You probably think I had it a bit on the long side. So let's trim this down now to the right size. Nothing like confusing yourself. There we go, that should be the right length. Right, let's try this again. There we go, so that should fit in just like that, and then we have the extra bit here for when we have our pages in. Right, so let's prep our pages now. So grab some double-sided tape. Mine was hiding. Find the end. So find your back page. So we're going on the B side here. It doesn't really matter where on the tab you put it, but we're putting it on the hinge side. So I'm not touching the score line at all with it. So we're putting all of our double-sided tape on the B sides. So if you want to look at this collection in closer detail, there'll be another link down in the description box, and that will take you to Nitwit's collections video on a talk through on all the files that you get. So this is basically just a dip in the pond on what you get, and I've mostly printed everything off from the Fat Quarter bundle, which is the FQB. So I'm just going to take all of these off. So yeah, there are, I think it's 4 or 5 collections available within this French collection, and there are no repeats in any of the files. So if you bought the whole collection, I think there is a bundle that you can get and get 20% off for that. So there's absolutely no repeats. Or if you just fancied a couple of files from one collection, just buy that one collection and you're good to go. Right, so everything is prepped ready now to go in. So fold this down here just like so, and choose your back page. I'm going to have this one as my back page, and we have our score line here. So we want our score line to be poking out the top of this flap here, otherwise you're not going to be able to turn your pages, and we need an even side top and bottom when we put this in. So this line should be straight with this line here. So I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch gap between these two lines, and that should give me clearance room to then open the book. So bone folder again, you're going to need this bone folder while we're adding the pages. So onto the second page, I'm just going to double check my other album because I want it exactly the same. So we've gone for yellow, red, grey, white. So yellow, red. So now we're just going to, all we're doing now is just lining everything up. Okay, press that one down, then turn your page, the first one, press that down, and then turn this one. It's going to resist because we have something there in the way now. Press that down, grab your bone folder, and then press that down. And then flip everything back. The next one was the grey one. Exactly the same, line everything up. Press down, burnish back, burnish that one back. It's starting to curve round now. I'll show you what that will look like once we've got all the pages down, and then give this one, this back one, a good press as well. We don't want any stiff pages. So the last one, press down. This one's a bit tough. You can see it's creasing a little bit, but we're just flattening it out again with the bone folder. Press that one down, and this one here has got a curve all the way around. If you can see, it won't want to do it, but once we press that down again, they're all behaving themselves. So as you can see, they're all bending round. So now we have a book that will flow through quite easily. There we go, and you can always add a pocket at the back there. So now what we need to do is add our adhesive along this line here. There's a line here, so it's just underneath the line. We want to leave this top section here clear of any sort of glue, or otherwise we won't be able to fit that in. So double-sided tape again. We're going to be using some wet glue as well. Get that off. I'm going to use Collal glue. And I'm going to add a very thin line just across the bottom of these pages. There we go, and I'm just going to add some more just to the middle section here, over the tape and over the score line, and I've completely avoided this top area there. So now all we've got to do is press that down. I'm just going to grab a baby wipe. Got a little bit coming out of the side there. So press that down. You can probably put something on there as well, just to keep it all down while it dries. I think we're good. Okay, so now, while you're pressing this down, because it's still drying, just with your bone folder, just lift this up very slightly, not so that it creases and folds, just so that it curves upwards to make a little lip. And then this should tuck in there perfectly. And there we go. So now we can decorate our album. So let's grab everything that I've cut out. Loads here. Now Nitwits also have a mini album that they made on their YouTube channel. The link will be down for that one down below, and on their little mini album they used this, and they said it's absolutely perfect for using on your front cover, and I absolutely agree. So I'm thinking maybe I could use that on a front cover, but I also like it here on the back. So I think that's going to be its final resting place. And now I have all of these here to add on. So I'm not going to add any dimension to this. I'm just going to stick everything down nice and flat. So I'm going to put you guys on fast forward now while I make my decisions. I'll be moving things around, trying to decide where things go best, and then I will be back afterwards to do a quick recap. Okay, so it's all finished. I'll hold this up so you can have a closer look. I had to trim a very small amount, as I showed you in the video there, just to fit this front cover in there, because the glue went up slightly too high, but that wasn't a problem. I just trimmed a little bit off the I keep saying lid, or keep wanting to say lid, the front cover. Right, so this is our front cover. I've layered some ephemera up, and what I'll probably do is, once I've put my photos in, I'll probably carry on personalising the front and put a title on there, probably across this section here, just so that we know what this album is about. And you can carry on decorating the back. So I've used everything that I printed off, so all I have now are my offcuts from when I cut my pages out. So I'm not too sure if I can't remember if I told you how I printed these out at the beginning. I used plain smooth cardstock, and I printed them on both sides. So I took my paper out and put it back in the other way round so I could have double-sided paper, but I couldn't remember if I told you that at the beginning. So let's have a look on the inside. So I've added everything in here. Everything's flat, as I said before. So I have a frame here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out a small photo and put that on there. And then I've used this ready-made cluster here, so I can print off some tiny photos and pop them there. And if you're doing digital on your computer, these are actually blank, so you can slide a photo in behind it digitally in Photoshop. So let's move on. So I'm going to put another photo here. There's another photo there, and there's also some space here. I could do some writing. I could print off some more of the labels that come with the kit. That could be here to explain this photo there, or I could just print off 2 or 3 small ones. And then I have this I love this stamp here. And then I haven't glued all the way up to the top there, so I can slide a photo to fit here. So then I have another blank area here. I could do writing or small photos. And then here I may just put another photo there. So I'm thinking I'm going to print off my pictures in black and white. That seems to be my favourite thing to do. Just print everything black and white, and then it will go with any paper collection that you have. So here's another journaling spot here, and I can add a photo at the bottom there, or I can just print off some more things from the kit to add under there. It depends if I've run out of photos or if I have loads. And then I love this little piece here as well. So that's the album, and then we're back to the front. Okay, so let's close everything up. So I do have a website, and all the measurements that I've used today will be on there, and there'll also be links on my website as well. It will take you straight to the Nitwit Collections kit to buy this, and there'll also be links down below as well if you don't want to go to my website. So everything will be down below there as well, so you can investigate this out further. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.